Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is your daily go getterism number 846 for January 26, 2017. Tonight I want to talk to y'all about thinking that you're next in line. Thinking that you're next. Have you ever felt like you were next in line for something? Something good, something bad. It's a pretty good feeling when you think that you're next in line for something good, because that means that you've probably been putting in the work and you're part of something where people are being chosen for something good based on their tenure, based on their work ethic, based on the time that they have put in. You know, a whole lot of decent, calculatable principles like that. So it's like in a work setting, if you see somebody getting promoted, if you see people getting raises, if you see people moving up or climbing to the next level in their careers, then you may be thinking like, yeah, well, I put in the work, I've done what I was supposed to do, I've smoothed with the right people, and I've did the things that I'm supposed to do in order to get where I want to be. So I know that my time is coming, it's coming. But we've talked previously, I think it was just last week, we were talking about how when you work hard for something and you don't get it. See, when your time comes, and there's nothing anybody can do about your time when it's your time. But the thing is, when it's somebody else's time, it's somebody else's time. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with us. So it's like if people around you are winning the lottery, it doesn't mean that you're going to win the lottery next. Of course, you have to play the lottery in order to win the lottery. But even if you play the lottery because the numbers are chosen so randomly, it doesn't mean that your number is going to come up. Of course, you can't tell people who play the lottery that, because they really believe that there's something mystical about the lottery that makes it seem like that number that anybody plays is going to come up. I hear people who play the lottery talk about that kind of stuff all the time. But anyway, thinking that you're next in line, it doesn't mean that when somebody gets something that you're next, unless that's the way exactly that the game is played. And if that is the case, then yeah, you can expect for that to happen. But in all things in life, we always have to take Murphy's Law into consideration. What could go wrong will go wrong. And what that means on a personal level is that the way things are supposed to go aren't necessarily always the way that they are going to go. So you can't look at somebody else's time in the limelight or their moment to shine as yours being next. People in showbiz know that it doesn't always work that way. Just because somebody else is getting theirs doesn't mean that you're going to get yours. You have to get yours, and you'll get yours when your time comes. So that's just something that is good to keep in mind when you are trying to climb the ladder of success, or unfortunately, when we're talking about things that are on a negative level. As we get older, we see, as we became young adults, growing in adulthood, we saw a lot of things happen. Growing up in the 80s, being a teenager in the 80s, you saw a whole lot of stuff. I know I saw a whole lot of stuff going on with my peers. So, because the 80s was the crack era, because 80s were the AIDS era, we saw a lot of negativity. And you could start to believe that you were next in line for some of that negativity. And things like that can really cause you a lot of stress. And it's probably stress that makes you think that you're in line for something bad to happen in the first place. But it's one of those things that when you do have that type of thinking, it's hard to escape. It's very, very hard to escape the way that thinking works. So take it back to the 80s. If you were involved with people, not necessarily, let's not necessarily say that you were into the drug game, because a lot of people were making tons of money in the 80s off of crack. It wasn't like it is now. It wasn't. Crack was a new drug, and it was new to a lot of people. We really didn't know the long-term effects of it, and people were getting caught up in it. As far as addiction was concerned, and a lot of people were getting caught up in it. as far as drug selling was concerned, and also sentences, really, really lengthy sentences for those drug offenses. And people were getting killed like crazy because of the money that was involved. The money caused the violence. So if you were involved in that game on any level, then it was probably not out of the question to expect that when you see your friends around you getting killed, shot, locked up, and all of that, that's probably going to happen to you. And it happened to so many people who were involved in that it was pretty logical thinking at the time. It's hard to be involved in that level of negativity and not bite the bullet. Of course, you reap the rewards first, but after that was done, you sort of have to pay the piper. And even the people who didn't go to jail, the people who didn't get killed, a lot of them wind up getting strung out. A lot of them just wind up falling off. Flossing one day and dead pop the next day. Dead pop means that you broke, on E. From F to E, from full to empty. And it seems like, regardless of the circumstances that may have influenced all of that, it just seems like it happened in one fell swoop. Now, that was back in the 80s. As we got older, as we were getting older, we may have seen our peers start to have children. Some of them start to get married, start families and stuff like that. And you can wonder if you're next in line for that type of thing. And it doesn't mean that you're a follower, but hey, that's pretty much the cycle of life. And as you start getting into if you didn't have children while you were in your teens, as you started getting into your 20s and started to grow into adulthood and start to grow up a little bit, more than likely you found somebody that you really were attracted to, and somebody that you fell in love with, or had enough sexual encounters, which only needs one. Start having children. And in the back of your mind, you could have started thinking to yourself, well, I'm having unprotected sex. Unprotected sex. So, this one just had a baby, this one is pregnant, this one blah, 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 blah. Maybe not associated with you, but you might have been thinking, like, yeah, pretty soon, it was probably going to be me too. Not that that's not a preventable situation, but you may have been caught up at the time where it wasn't something that you wanted to prevent. That may have been something that you wanted with somebody at that time. So you were next in line when it came to that. As we get older, for me and my peer group, and people who are growing into their 40s and 50s and things like that, now we're seeing a different cycle. We're seeing our friends, some of them, get sick. People feeling long-term effects the effects from long-term drug use, all types of medical conditions and stuff like that. People aren't as healthy as we remember being back in our 20s and 30s and things like that. And we've already lost some people. I know for myself, I've lost some people in my 20s and definitely my teens, 20s, 30s. But 40s, it seems to be getting real because now our generation is starting to take a greater look at our mortality. So although our parents may have lived a long time, we wonder, will we be able to do that as well? Look at all these cancers that are going on out here. They have a cancer for everything, but some of the more popular cancers are this breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer, lung cancer. It's rough. It really is. And if you have people in your bloodline, people in your family bloodline that have suffered through these, certain deadly diseases and conditions, you wonder, am I next? Am I next? I'm thinking about diabetes, heart disease. It's crazy. It's hard to look at people around you or whatever. You know what I mean? And shout out to my people who have lost a parent. Because one thing about losing a parent, you get to wondering about your own mortality. Especially if your parents died at an age that would be considered young. 40s, 50s. Like, wow, that's not a long life. And as we approach those ages, it's like, whoa, you get to wonder, am I next? How's it going to be? But a lot of that comes out of stress and depression, wondering if doom is right around the corner, wondering if you're next to be the one who takes the hit, takes the fall. The best advice that I can give to you is do the right things for yourself. You know, do the right thing. I don't want to tell you to do that, but that's why I say do the right things for yourself. You know, based on the way you've been raised and things that you have learned and the things that you have experienced, you know the difference between right and wrong. So when you find yourself getting too comfortable with the wrong way, try the other way, because more than likely that's the healthier way. And eat better. Eat better, eat better, eat better, eat better, eat better. I can't stress it enough. Get into that organic food, man. You know, I would tell you to try vegetarianism or veganism, but I know how much of a struggle that can be for some people. And some people just don't want to live that type of life. I can understand that. But it doesn't mean that you can't have a really, really healthy intake of fruits and vegetables. Especially vegetables. Raw. Stop cooking that stuff, because you cook all the nutrients out of it. And when you have the proper nutrients in the food that you eat instead of that garbage that we eat so freely and like the taste of, your body responds in kind. You treat your body right, it'll treat you back right. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, when it comes to being the next in line, do the right things for yourself. Just because something bad is happening to people around you or something good is happening to people around you, remember that their time is theirs. The master has a different plan for them than he may have for you. So to make sure that you are in line with whatever plan is in store for you, do the best things for yourself. Give yourself the best chance to win. Put yourself in the best position to win. Eat those vegetables, those fruits. Eat them raw. And don't be afraid to swallow seeds, except for those cherry pits. That ain't no good. But normally the rest of the seeds listen, just like animals out in the wild, they eat the whole thing. That's because the whole thing can be eaten. Remember that. And you can Google that too. You know, fruits that you can eat the whole thing. Alright? The Daily Go Get 'Emism show is every single day. Oh, wait. What I wanted to say about that is that you do the right things for yourself, that you know for yourself, and then hopefully you'll be the next in line to keep living the best life and having the best quality of life than anybody else could have ever imagined. The Daily Go Get 'Emism show is every single day at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Call-in number is 319-527-6199. blogtalkradio.com/Sun752. That's Sun752. Don't forget about the winter breeze freeze event this Saturday, January 28th, in 2 days, y'all. 10 a.m. in Philadelphia, 10 a.m. until we get done. Y'all know we normally get done like around 1 o'clock. But we're going for that hike. Listen, the weather's going to be pretty decent this Saturday, at least for our purposes it is. This will be one of the first times in the wintertime that we can go up in them woods in the dead of winter, and we won't, things won't be frozen. There won't be any snow or anything like that. We can really get it off. I want to see y'all this Saturday. This Saturday, January 28th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come to the Winter Freeze, whatever I call it. It's an extension of the spring cleaning event, summer burn event, and the Take the Fall event. So let's do this Saturday. I hope to hear from y'all. You can look up that on Facebook. The Urban Therapy with Sun Winter Freeze Breeze event. Alright? So I'll holler at y'all later. Hopefully I see y'all in a couple of days. Y'all know I'll hear from y'all tomorrow though. Peace.